Hello and welcome back to the video lectures on curve fitting. So let us continue our discussion on interpolation. In this video, I'm going to explain Newton's divided difference interpolation. In the previous video, I briefly introduced the interpolation and we saw that using interpolation we can fit an nth order polynomial to the n plus 1 given data points, and in interpolation the fitted curve passes through each and every given data point. So let us begin with Newton's divided difference interpolation. So first, let me give you the general form of interpolating polynomial, which later on will reduce depending upon the number of data points given. So this is the general form of interpolating polynomial, and here on the left hand side, the subscript n represents degree of the polynomial that we are going to fit. Okay, so that n has no computational significance. On the right hand side, you can see that the first term is a constant, which is b0. Second term is for the first degree curve or a line, and then the third term starts adding into the curvature, so x into x will be x squared if we multiply those two brackets, and that will add a curvature to the curve that we fit. And once you go on adding more terms, then the degree of the curve increases. Okay, so let's consider the special cases of this general form. First case is linear interpolation, where the degree of the polynomial is 1. So we know that the degree of a line, a straight line, is 1. And given that we are discussing linear interpolation, if n is equals to 1 for a line, we know that the degree is 1. That means the given number of data points must be n plus 1. So if two data points are given, then we can fit a straight line or a unique straight line passing through those 2 points. Then if n is equals to 1, then this general form reduces to those first 2 terms only. Okay, so we will not have any curvature because we have only line, so that's why we have only those first 2 terms. Okay, then let's increase the degree. So now let's take an example of polynomial interpolation where n is 2. That means to fit a parabola, n plus 1 is equals to 3 points must be given. So if 3 data points are given, then we will have to fit a parabola into the given data points. Okay, so that means the general form of the interpolating polynomial now has the first 3 terms on the right hand side. And consequently, if we consider a polynomial interpolation to fit a cubic curve which has a degree 3, then that means to fit it 4 data points must be given, or other way around, if 4 data points are given, then we will have to fit a cubic curve into the given data points, and subsequently the general form of the interpolating polynomial will have the first 4 terms on the right hand side. Okay, so this last term we have the highest degree x into x into x, that will give you x cube. Okay, so let us see what those coefficients mean. So p0 is equals to f of x0, b1 is equals to f of x1 minus f of x0 divided by x1 minus x0, which is this divided difference, and finally b2 is that divided difference. So you can continue to write those coefficients, but let us see how to calculate those coefficients. This table represents the given data, and the first column represents value of x and the second column represents value of y, or the function f of x. Then the first data point will always be x0 comma f of x0. The second data point will always be x1 comma f of x1, and the third data point will be x2, f of x2, and so on. So using this given data points or using this table, we can calculate the value of those coefficients. So for example, the value of b0 here using this table will be simply the f of x0 that will be given into the table. Then the value of b1 will be calculated by substituting f of x1 from the table here. Similarly, f of x0 from the table here, x1 from the table here, and x0 from the table here. So this is how you will get b1, and then finally b2 by substituting values of everything given in the table, because to find out b2 you will require all the values from this table. Okay, so here in this table you can see 3 data points are given. So n plus 1 is equals to 3. Given number of data points is 3, and that means using this table we will have to fit a parabola that passes through all of these 3 points, and consequently we will require exactly those 3 coefficients. So b0 plus b1 into x minus x0 plus b2 into x minus x0 into x minus x1. All right, so don't get scared. I will solve a problem for. So let us solve an example on linear interpolation, and in this example we want to find out the natural logarithm of 2, or we want to find out ln of 2. So you can just use your calculator and you can find the button that says ln and calculate ln of 2, and you will get that value around 0.69. But in this example, we want to find out the value of ln, or natural logarithm, using linear interpolation. And to do that, this table is given here. And as you can see, there are 2 data points given. That means n plus 1 is equals to 2, and hence n is equals to 1. And we can fit a straight line that passes through those 2 points, and that's why n is equals to 1. So let us start. So this is again the general form of the interpolating polynomial from the previous slide, and as we are going to fit a straight line, this form reduces basically to only first 2 terms on the right hand side. Now the task remains is to calculate those 2 coefficients b0 and b1. So let us find out. We have seen the formula for both of them on the previous slide, and one more thing is I have mentioned the substrate of f is 1. That means we are going to fit a straight line which has the degree 1. That's why that f has a subscript 1. So to find out b0, we know that from the previous slide b0 is simply f of x0. So in this table, this is x0, and this is f of x0. Similarly, this is x1 and this is f of x1. So b0 is simply f of x0. That means b0 is 0 from the table, and b1 is that divided difference, and b1 is that divided difference, f of x1 minus f of x0 divided by x1 minus x0. Let me substitute the values. So f of x1 is 1.791 something from the table, minus f of x0 is 0, x1 is 6 from the table, and x0 is 1. Okay, so this is a substitution, and if you do the calculation, you can just pause the video and calculate. So you will get b1 as 0.3583. Now if you substitute the values of b0 and b1 from here to the formula of f1 of x, then you get that equation. So b0 is 0 and b1 is 0.3583 here. X minus x0 is 1 from the table. And finally, we want to find out the value of natural logarithm at x equals to 2. Hence, we have substituted x equals to 2 here and on the right hand side here. And finally, this is the value of natural logarithm of 2 calculated using the line that we fitted into the given data. Okay, so the calculation is simple. It's not a big deal as such. So let us see how graphically we can solve the same problem, or what is the graphical interpretation of the problem, and in general linear interpolation. In this slide you can see a graph, and this graph is of the function y is equals to ln of x, and we have been asked to find out the value of this function at x equals to 2, so at that point roughly, and we have used linear interpolation to do that. For the linear interpolation, this was the given data, and the data is the pair of points x and f of x and natural logarithm at that x. So first pair of points is x equals to 1 and the natural logarithm f of x is 0, which is this point, and the second data point is x equals to 6 and value of natural logarithm 1.79, so that is the second data point. And using linear interpolation, we fitted a line that passes exactly through those 2 points, so that is the line. So we found out the natural logarithm of 2 using this line. So graphically, how to do that? We went from x-axis to the straight line, and then from straight line to the y-axis, so that gave us the value 0.3583. all right, this is the value that we obtained. But the actual value of natural logarithm by using the using the actual curve is this. So you go on the curve and then on the y-axis, then you get this value, which comes out to be 0.69. So 0.69, this is the actual value, and that means there is an error involved, and this is the amount of error involved, okay, because we are using a linear function or a line to approximate a curve, and that's why there is an error involved, okay. And we can reduce this error by reducing this interval. So right now the interval of the 2 data points is from x equals to 1 to x equal to 6, so that interval is quite large. If we can reduce this interval, instead of at x equals to 6, if we know the value of the function at x equals to 4, and if we can use this reduced interval to again fit a straight line through those 2 points using that table here, then we get a straight line like this, okay. So that is the straight line passing through those 2 points, and now if we use this improved line or this green line to estimate the value of natural logarithm of x, then this is how we can do it. So from that green line we go on the y-axis and we get this value of natural logarithm of x, and now you can see that the error has reduced, okay. So this is the error associated with the green line, and this was the error associated with the purple line, okay. So by reducing the interval, we can reduce the error in the estimation of natural logarithm of a function. So maybe you can still reduce this interval, and we can fit a line that maybe passes through this point and that point. It will give us a better estimate of natural logarithm of x. And the essence of this is that you might be wondering why we are actually using straight lines if we can use the actual function. Natural logarithm of 2 is a simple function. If there is a very complex function to work with, to find the derivatives, to find the integration, then it is advisable that you use a simpler function like linear interpolation or polynomial interpolation to represent the actual function and then work with that approximation, okay. So hopefully this has given you an insight into what exactly we are trying to accomplish here, okay. So many times in the lectures I said that it is impossible to learn engineering mathematics without graphical interpretation. So whenever we have equations, there should be geometry, and there must be a bridge that connects the equations and the geometry. So that's why I keep on explaining the things graphically, because that gives a better insight into things, or we are more sure about what is actually happening. Okay, so in the next video I'm going to take another example related to polynomial interpolation. So see you in the next video.